Doing well. I am doing well.
Good.
Okay, we
Good.
can get to that. We can get to that. It's good. I'm glad you have joined us. Looks like we have gone
Thank
live.
you. Glad to be here. Oh, okay.
I think we're waiting on one more person to show up. So how's your day been today?
My day has been good. A very productive day.
Okay.
But I'm just trying to. This is my first week starting my job on night shift.
Okay.
So I've been on first shift for the last 2 years, but today I start on night shift. So pray for me that I'm able to stay up tonight.
Oh, so you're at work now?
No, I don't go in until 9 o'clock tonight.
Ah,
10
okay.
hours. Yeah.
You working that shift there. That's the graveyard shift, ain't it?
I'm sorry, the phone had broke up. What did you
I
say?
said that's the graveyard shift, isn't it?
Yes. Yep.
So it's 9 to what?
9 to 7 in the morning. But it's only 4 days. So
Okay,
I
14.
guess that's the plus. Yes. So that's the plus side of it.
Okay.
Off 3 on 4.
And that
So
was your choice?
no, it wasn't my choice. I've been with the state of Ohio since 2019, and I was a seasonal worker. And I just recently got hired on with the benefits and everything. I'm no longer obviously seasonal, I'm permanent. But when you become permanent, most of the time you do start out working night shift. There is some people that get blessed and there's openings for first shift available and they get, on to another garage for shift. But I didn't get that opportunity. So
Right.
I'll be starting on nights, but praying that, something on first shift does become available soon. But if not, I got to do what I got to do. So
Okay. That's there it is. You definitely gotta do what you gotta do.
absolutely.
Get where you trying to go.
Yes. Yep.
So have we heard any word from okay, Jaquita? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. So my name is Mujeddit Muhammad. I am a restored citizen. I was incarcerated for a period of 27 years. I've been home now. I just passed the 3-year mark. And I'm here to host this program and kick it off, just talking about why does entrepreneurship matter? And particularly for us, I can think of a number of reasons. One, I would say to remove the stigma. There's often a stigma associated with people who have incarceration in their background that, you know, they may not work, but definitely they're not going to start their own business, right? So to remove that stigma is one of the reasons why entrepreneurship matters, right? And also to serve as models for others who think that they cannot do it. I often say, looking at my own life and what I've been able to do in 3 years, is that what has been done can be done again. And I think that's what each and every one of us shows to others with what we do with our lives, is that what has been done can be done again. The business that I started called the Restored Citizens Faith Foundation is based on an idea and a vision that I had over 20 years ago. It was in a much more expanded form, but once I got out here and I started seeing the landscape and what was needed in terms of returning citizens coming home and not having stable living environments. Some of these halfway houses that I hear people talk about are atrocious, right? I saw my calling. And the Restored Citizens Faith Foundation is going to be a nonprofit that focuses on helping individuals transition back into society and be successful by providing shared housing opportunities. And within that housing is we're going to transform trauma. You know, we come out of prison with a lot of trauma that we continue to carry around. We're going to work on transforming that. We're going to work on helping individuals get all of their credentials and everything that they need to be successful out here. We're going to work on credit repair and credit building, right? We're going to work on building relationships with landlords. This is another problem that I've seen since I've been out, is that when individuals who have recently got out of prison or been out for a while go to apply for housing, they're turned down because of felonies on their record. But what becomes a double whammy is when you got a felony on your record and you got bad credit, right? That's like a double whammy in this society. So these are things that we're going to be working on in the Faith Foundation to help individuals transitioning out have a fighting chance to get on the path of becoming a restored citizen. You know, I use the term returning citizens because I know that everyone that is coming out of prison is not yet restored. And I think that's something that has to be proven and earned over time, right? So that's what we're going to be working on in the Restored Citizens Faith Foundation. So I want to welcome all of you, though. That's a little bit about me and my story and what I'm seeking to do. And I'll drop a little bit more in there as I go along. But I want to hear from all of you, beginning with the lady, right? I'm going to start out with the lady, Miss April Harden. If you don't mind, if you could share a little bit about yourself, your business, and your aspirations. You're on mute too. I think you're on mute because I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm back on mute. I'm sorry. I said you're gonna put me on the spot like that.
Well, you know, I would be remiss to call one of the fellas and not call you first. And right now you're the only woman on the platform, so I would definitely be remiss to do that. So I'm not putting you on the spot. I'm just showing respect and honor that is due.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm joking. Okay, so my name is April, as mentioned. I am the owner of Divine Sweets. And a little bit about myself. Well, I'm very hardworking, very passionate, dependable mother of two children, two daughters, and just very, goal oriented. And I have always wanted to become an entrepreneur. Both sides of my family, from my mom's side and my dad's side, are entrepreneurs. My grandparents on my mom's side, my grandparents on my dad's side, and some other people in the family that were entrepreneurs. So I've always, had that drive or wanted to be an entrepreneur. Mm-hmm. And I just, at first, it was just something that I thought of. I ended up wanting to just do like party planning because my grandfather had a church down in Dayton, Ohio, and they had like a kitchen area and like a fun play area for the kids. And I tried to do that. I tried to rent it out for people to have like birthday party events, and I would, decorate, event planning and all of that. And I never got any customers. Like even when I went to college at Sinclair Community College on the Dayton campus, nobody called or anything. So I kind of just put that behind me. And fast forward, I've always loved to bake, just as a hobby, nothing too serious. And then 2013, I believe, my aunt, she had started up her own nonprofit girls youth group called Embrace Your Inner Crown. And it was just basically a group, instilling, morals and values in young girls and building up their self-esteem. And I just started baking, goodies every time we met up with the girls. And the smiles on the girls' faces, and they would just be sitting there chit-chatting and just cheesing and just talking about how wonderful the treats were. And that just sparked something in me. But I didn't know where to go from then. And I got incarcerated in 2015, made a mistake. And I got the opportunity to take Sinclair community classes once again, full circle, while I was incarcerated. And they offered culinary arts and baking classes as well as business management. Mm-hmm. And I took every single class I could think of. I have a plethora of certificates because that was the only thing that we were able to get. We weren't able to get an associate's or a bachelor's degree, but I have a lot of certificates and college credits to add to that. And so I try to come up with a name that, started with a D, like my children's name, but I also wanted to be unique. So I came up with Divine Sweets. It's not spelled the traditional way. Like I said, I wanted to be unique and to stand out. But our treats are very divine. And I just see nothing but good things in the future for myself. I'm always supporting other people and want to see the good in everyone. So hope I didn't talk too long.
Not at all. That's a very powerful name too, Divine Sweets.
Absolutely.
That's almost like manna coming down out of heaven. So we looking for something special with a name like that. When can we get some testers or something?
When y'all trying to?
We're gonna have to arrange something. We're gonna have to arrange, because I'm a baker.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of like my side hustle, though. What I do now is really my passion. But during my incarceration, I went through the culinary program. I always worked in the with the officers, because they wanted mine to be given to them. But I work for the population as well, though. But that's my second passion is baking.
Okay.
And I've done some since I've gotten out. Let me ask you this: what's your signature product?
I would say our we have several, but our honey bun cheesecake.
Honey bun cheesecake.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the favorite.
Okay. Yes. I've never heard of that one before, but it sounds special though.
It is.
It sounds special.
You like cheesecake. Yes.
Honey bun cheesecake.
Yeah.
That's special. That is definitely special. Okay, so let me ask you this too. What are your goals for your business over the next 5 years?
Well, one of them is I really want to have a storefront. I mean, like I said, I've only been in business since January of 2020. And, but last year I was already starting to look, for a building. But COVID-19 happened and I just kind of, pulled back on those plans. But that is one of my main goals is to have my own, storefront. Like when I was going to Sinclair Community College during my stay of incarceration, at first I was against, having a storefront. I just was like, well, maybe I'll just do like a sweets food truck because, I've never heard of it being popular of a sweets food truck. And so at first I wanted to do that, but I'm like very family oriented and just, about uplifting and positivity. So I had a vision for the building. And so that's part of the reason why I want the building, because I have this whole vision for it and just to bring people together and just, the positive atmosphere and stuff, and just to give people credit where credit is due. Like some of the ideas, like, maybe we would name a cookie after somebody in the community or somebody in the world that are a world changer, a world leader, and maybe, have a little description about them and have that treat featured for like a week or a month. And so just little stuff like that. One of my ideas for a storefront. And then I also wanted to do like baking and cake decorating classes for young girls that may be interested, people that may be interested in learning about becoming a baker, where we would have classes that people can come in and learn all about behind the scenes of what we do, and get a hands-on feel of it. So
okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. I'm okay, because I know at my I work at Impact Community
okay.
Action, right? And I know we were talking about there, because we just moved into a new building, have a huge kitchen, and we were talking about bringing somebody in that might do some training like that, and there might be some grant funding out there to do something like that. So if that's something that you're serious about, I would put together a proposal or something to flesh that out and see what it would look like. Because there's definitely
Okay.
funding out there for that type of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. But sounds good. Thank you for sharing. I know you're going to be a success, and I can't wait to sample one of those divine treats.
All right.
Okay.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna go if the brothers don't mind, I'm gonna go next to the next young lady, Miss Jaquita Seeley. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, saying that right. How are you guys?
We are doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing well. I apologize for my tardiness, but traffic got the best of me.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so tell us about yourself and a little bit about your business and your aspirations.
Absolutely. So my name is Shaquita. Obviously, I go by Jay, hence my business name. I was incarcerated in 2018. I was 19 or 20. And I don't know, just got in trouble, didn't really kind of know where I was going in life. I was going to school for criminal justice, but I just didn't have like a foundation set for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I just knew I wanted to move out and get a job. That's all that I knew. And so I did make a bad decision and landed me right in Marysville at an early age. What we have now as far as reentry did not have it. So I literally got a job, went back to school and worked. That was it. Homework, because I didn't want to get no more trouble in school. So I really didn't know much, and I was letting my felony define me. And so the first thing first is I was just like, when I got home from prison, I'm just like, man, I got to get money. I don't know how I'm going to get it. And I just kind of went back to what I knew when I was taught to learn how to crochet.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was what I did. So until I got a sustainable income. Roll around to COVID-19, my job takes me and puts me off of work. And I'm like, man, I have to do something. Oh, what do I know best? Let me go back to crocheting because, that's what I know. That's the way I can make some money and it's profitable. So I literally just started crocheting while I was off. And one of my friends like, man, you're so good at this. You should just try this as a business. And I'm like, nobody wants no crochet. I mean, she's like, listen, you could do this, it's really good. I can have this big, huge opening for the winter time and we can just do this. And I'm like, all right, kind of gave me some little confidence, like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Needless to say, I got my business going and we have never done the pop-up shop because I've been that busy. And it's just a blessing to see how it all came about, not trying to even make it a business. And so since I've made it, my logo is a J hooked. And the reason why I first picked J hooked, and it was significant to me because my logo actually has a crochet hook as the H. And it's just like, I wanted to get you hooked on crochet and stuff like that. So as my business evolved, it's like, I want to get you hooked on me. Let's
Mhm.
get you hooked, J hooked. You're going to get hooked on me.
Mhm.
So it's just amazing how things have evolved and how I've expanded to the point where, like, in the future, I see me holding classes and stuff like that. So what I do, okay, so now what I do, I'm getting off Scott B. What I do now, outside of just crocheting, now I do custom t-shirts, custom hats, custom whatever you think that I can literally sublimate or vinyl print. I've done decals, I've done the t-shirt, AM Reentry t-shirts, I have mugs and everything. So just anything that you name it that I can sublimate or vinyl, decal, whatever you think of, I'm doing it. And so I've just grown a little by little, and I learned that crocheting, like when I first got there, I'm like, I don't know my demographics. When I would go to like Goodell Park, I would do good, but when I go to Drive Park, it wouldn't be so good. So I'm just like, man, I need something that I can bring to the table under $25. People are excited to get. And so I taught myself how to do the Cricut machine and sublimation. And it done push crocheting out the way a little bit. And it's just amazing how something I just thought would bring, just some quick income has taken me to the next level and has empowered me to even think outside of the box. Because I was just thinking of, let me just stick with here so I could just get some fast income coming, but I didn't know that it would just like push me into the whole next level. And I mean, it's opened doors up to the point where I'm just like, man, I want to hold trainings, man. I have a chance to offer jobs. And
Mhm.
so it just lead me into bigger and better ideas. I just recently got a storefront on Bryce Road. So now I'm looking to maybe possibly hire somebody to help me because I'm, getting busy. And I just see that of being a place that a starting point with someone that's been touched by the justice system. As far as like women coming out that knows how to crochet, we can get them in there crocheting, selling their items or whatever the case may be. Just as like men that wants to learn how to do t-shirts and stuff. It just opened up doors where it can be a transitioning space for them. As my business grow, for me to hire more and more people, I do want a bigger storefront. I want it to be bigger than just t-shirts. I want to be a warehouse. So I'm visioning bigger, but I have to stay right where I'm at and, plan how I'm going to do everything. So the first step is to, get the people in there, train the people, get them to understand what the equipment is and what they do. And so I don't know, just from one person to another to have that comfortability with themselves to, have the opportunity to make money and take this on, and maybe they'll start their business for their next generation and stuff. So it's been wonderful because, I'm able to show my son that, it's more to me just clocking in the work and stuff. So I don't know. It's just amazing, and I don't know. I'm just excited.
That is phenomenal. That is a phenomenal story.
Yeah.
I'm for real. So did you say you started that while you were incarcerated?
No, I actually learned when I was about 9 years old at a church camp.
Okay.
They taught us the basics. So through the years, I would just play around with it and go along the way. So it was kind of one of those things where I didn't think much of it until it was time to actually put it together.
Right, right. And you just don't
Yeah,
perfected that thing.
exactly. Absolutely. I'm pretty much self-taught. I've made shawls, sweaters, hats, cozies, anything that you could think of, teddy bears, and this is all just in crochet. And now I'm intertwining the crochet and the vinyl and the sublimation into it to bring it all full circle, then it just be really personalized. So I don't know. I'm excited about the things that may come. I'm excited about, showing that people, just because we have a backstory doesn't mean that defines us, and that we can actually leave a legacy for our kids. and I can train my son. My son's like, Mom, I want to make my own business and I want to be a part of this and I want to learn how. So it's exciting to be able to, make him excited about something that we own. He goes around and says, we got a business. And
Right.
that feels good at 7 years old, hearing my son say, we got a business. Mom, are we going to the shop today? So it's just, that empowers me just that much more to help the next person.
Okay, that's good. And you know what's funny is that I have a coworker who was looking for somebody to teach her and some friends how to crochet.
I'm wanting to get there. Once I get a space to actually hold, my plan is to like find an item by item, and set up some type of training to make that item, and then focus on one thing at a time until people get the word out and it spreads, and then we can do sessions or whatever, however it comes about, one-on-one. I still been playing around with the idea because I have to build my own confidence up to be holding the class, to hold a class. But for the most part, that is something future wise that I'm definitely wanting to do. So that would be for the crocheting, that would be for the vinyl, that would be for just business classes. I think now that I've actually start this, I think so much bigger than, oh, I'm just going to crochet every day. Like, no, I want to hold financial classes. I want to hold how to start your own business. I want to show you how to do this, because I've literally learned from the bottom up. So what more the way to teach someone else, since I know all the steps that's come along the way. And I know the trials and tribulations that you may possibly face. So what more better way? A person always says a fool learns from another fool's, a person learns from another fool's mistakes. I can't remember how to do it. How is it? A person learns from another man's mistakes. A fool learns from their own. And so being able to actually teach someone and show them the ropes and what I overcome, and now I've learned, I can teach them so they don't make those same mistakes. Of course, they're going to make mistakes, but not those ones that they've already been aware of.
Right.
So it's just exciting. I don't know. I just thank Maria for even just even looking and wanting to learn more about me and allowing me to be a part of this.
Right. Well, I've heard that you really don't know a thing until you start teaching it.
Yes.
Right.
I find that every order has its own challenge. I just had an order that, I was at my shop till 11 o'clock at night, and I'm like bawling my eyes out because I'm like, I am just not going to be able to get this order right. And I hate to let them down on the last minute. And I'm just like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. And then something just was like, no, you got this. You can do this. And I figured it out. They loved the t-shirts. They sent me pictures. It was a whole family event. And it was just that right there just made it just that much more. They're like, oh, you got this. Okay. It just, it makes you just feel that good to see somebody more excited. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to cut it there because I gotta move on. But
yes.
Phenomenal story.
Phenomenal story. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'm gonna go to Joey Green. Is up next. I know because he said the best way to showcase his business, he on the job right now. So.
Yeah, I'm actually out here cutting some lawns. I wish I could be spinning around and just have the phone sitting in some kind of holder where I could still be cutting.
Yes, sir.
But as everyone else, I've served time. And I say serve because during my incarceration, I worked on me. I found out what was broken inside of me, fixed it, came home, and haven't looked back, except for reaching back in and helping other men come home. Guys that I was incarcerated with, 100% of those guys that come home and get connect with me haven't gone back. So we got a good group of guys. But anyway, so served practically 20 years on 2 different numbers. The first number really I didn't do any programming. I took got into plumbing, came home, got a plumbing job. And but what I didn't do was I didn't address my issues, right? So fell back into the same old bad habits and risky behavior. Ended up facing 200 years and pleaded out to a 16 or 30 something. I couldn't even tell you what the end number was because I said I ain't gonna live that long. However, during my incarceration, I was able to go to Columbus State, took some business courses, as well as I enrolled into the computer class, got me great computer skills. And so me and a guy that was going home about the same time, he was going home before me, but about a year between us. And we said we was going to start a business. H1N1 was just coming out and people were talking about they didn't want to touch their trash cans anymore. So, you know, those big green, ugly dumpsters, right? Mm-hmm. So we came up with an idea. We go to people's house, get the green dumpster, take it to the curb. After sanitation runs, we'll disinfect it and put it back. So, however, that gentleman, before I made it back home within that year, he was already back incarcerated. And this kind of put fear in me due to this man, his brother was a millionaire. His cousin had his own business, gave him a job. Somebody gave him a car. His mother passed away right before he came home. So all his siblings had houses. So he had a house. So I'm thinking, you know, how am I going to make it? And if this guy had all this stuff, you know, handed to him and he couldn't make it. So that was kind of my drive when people ask me, you know, what was my biggest fear? My biggest fear was going back. So, but I didn't. And as well, I came home in 2009 and during the recession. So, you know, I didn't know, you know, the recession. I'm just glad to be home. So the business really didn't take off. You know, people weren't, you know, they would start holding on to their money. And so the business really didn't take off. And the name of the business was the Curb Butler. So ended up, it actually took me a year and a month to find employment. If it wasn't for my family giving me great support, you know, just free housing and just helping taking care of me and to give me rides and stuff like that, the parole office, that kind of stuff. I probably, you know, I don't know what I'd have done in that year's time. You know, my dad used to give me $50 a week. And I said, Dad, $50 is not a lot of money. He said, well, if I give you more than that, I'd be afraid what you'll do with it. So I had to learn how to manage and budget. Even to this day, I pack my lunch practically every day, you know, before I leave the house. I still practice that, you know. But anyway, so ended up finding a job. Actually, while I was incarcerated, I took a train-the-trainer safety course through OSHA. And my first job, I was a safety coordinator for a special needs agency, and it paid pretty well. Even though, you know, I didn't lie on my application, the CEO knew that I had a felony in my background, but at that particular time, the rules were they shouldn't have hired me in the first place. Right. So because Ohio has the at-will law, I was terminated. So one of the board members who, you know, took a liking to me, asked me, was I, you know, interested in earning some money? And I said, how's that? And he said, can you come and cut my grass? And he has a nice sized yard. So I went and cut his grass. And I'm like, okay, well, this is something I can do. So then I just started, you know, I went and got me one push lawnmower and put in the back of a SUV. And I started just going door to door, cutting people's grass, cut my family's grass. And I started off with hand tools, hand edgers, electric weed whackers, and to where I am now with all commercial and professional equipment. Once again, so the Curb Butler name. So I said, well, I need a name for this business. So Curb Butler was already in the system. And I said, okay, I'm going to stick with the Curb Butler. So I made my own logo. I don't know if you can see that. So it's a butler holding a lawnmower, right? He has a wrench in his pocket because I can do a little handyman stuff. And you can't go in the lawn care business if you don't know something about some mechanics. And as well, so when I first came out with the Curb Butler, actually in the butler's hand was a trash dumpster. right? So I just removed the dumpster and put the lawnmower in his hand and just kept the name. And then just got more and more customers. One of my friends, I asked him, could I, help him do some work during the 4th of July, because the weekends, the week before that, it was raining real bad. And I said, man, let me come and help you. He said, man, you don't want to do this work. He said, you wear a suit and tie every day. I said, man, I love doing this work. So I went out and helped him, and we did about almost 12 to 15 properties. End of the day, he gave me $50. And I said, man, we did a lot of work. All I get is 50. He said, that's what help get. I'm like, oh my goodness. So as I grew my business and I started hiring people, I said, I'm not going to do anybody like that. I said, but I don't pay an hourly wage. I pay a percentage of the property.
Okay.
Whatever the property's worth, you get a percentage of that.
Okay.
Right. So, but I have contracts in New Albany, Gahanna, Reynoldsburg. I'm really in Linden. I love Linden. I'm a Linden for life guy. So I have a lot of residential in Linden, have churches, restaurants, and the business just grows and grows. And each year, when I hire someone, I don't expect them to come back and work for me the following year. So what I do is I teach them the business, right? There's enough lawn care for everybody,
yes, sir.
So the business has grown. I tried to get my son involved. He said he's allergic to grass. My oldest grandson, he said he's allergic to grass. But I got 4 little ones. I got a 13, a 10, a 7, and 6. And they love, getting on the machines with me and doing this and using the blowers. Matter of fact, when it came to leaf removal, I played a game with my grandsons. I gave them all a leaf blower and told them the leaves were aliens. And we had to wipe all the aliens off the planet, right? So they started in the backyard, and we had to get all the leaves to the front where I could put them on a tarp and then throw them on the trailer, right? So, man, I went in that backyard, man, it was clean. Wasn't an alien, you didn't have to worry about no alien invasion because they cleaned it up, man. So,
Joey, beautiful story, brother. Beautiful success story, man. And I know you're gonna take that thing even further than you taking it all. Beautiful success.
Well, I try to, it's a generous business. Matter of fact, some of my friends that I grew up with who are in the lawn care, I getting pointers from them, and I was asking about paying taxes, and a lot of them say taxes. I ain't paying no taxes. I said, well, you ain't no business.
Right.
You hustle, right? I said, how are you going to expect to get big contracts? Plus, if you got a business card, that business card fall into wrong hands. Right. And next thing you know, the IRS knocking at your door. Listen, I can't do nothing wrong. You hear me?
That's right.
Nothing.
Okay, well, brother, I want to thank you, man, for that story, brother. And we're going to have to move on because we're running out of time now. They hit me.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing then. I tell people I don't cut grass. I create lawns.
You create lawns?
I create lawns. So if you need your grass cut, you don't need me.
Right.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
I need to cut grass. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Thale, last but definitely not least, since you was looking like the superstar here, we
all right, so this is why. Don't do that with me, Slim. I'm humble. So
yes,
this is
sir.
why.
Come on, bro. I'm just messing with you.
Okay. All right.
Come on, tell us your story, brother.
Okay, so May 2nd, this Sunday, I've been home 10 years from the feds after being illegally locked up. So what the devil meant for evil, God meant for good. So during that 6 years and 10 months, God stripped me from my violent ways and restored me to the kingdom. So I wrote 3 books: Going Hard, 7-Year Bid, and Testing My Faith. And if you read Testing My Faith, you'll realize that I was squashing beef inside the feds. And this is how my nonprofit started, on the outside. So Monica Scott, the director of Capitol High School, over Magic Johnson Bridgescape, gave me my first break with a book curriculum on my book, Going Hard, to share my story with the teens so they can learn from my previous violent lifestyle. And so I was able to do that with all the Magic Johnson locations, as well as life skills, youth build, motivational speaking for Afrocentric, going into the prisons. I did prison ministry through Rhema Christian Center, New Birth, so I'm a living testimony. So then I do Halt Violence, which is 7 years old, March 3rd. We squash beef. We go into the communities, engaging with these teens, young adults, and even adults for that matter, and meeting them where they at, not judging them, not belittling them, not working with the police, but cultivating a relationship with them to put the guns down. Some of the situations can be squashed, some can't. Then we cultivated relationships with employers and stakeholders that are felony friendly, and we help get people jobs. We work on resumes, we provide interview attire. I'm a certified counselor on trauma, so we do counseling, we do mentorship, so it's one thing to go to a place where people can't relate to you, but when they come to the nonprofit Halt Violence, it's relatable. So Cashmere Publication is the story of my life that people know about, that's similar in the book, but the nonprofit is the service, so we out here with it. We ain't going nowhere, and God get the glory of my life. You know what I mean? So, people that know of me know I was very violent, used to be a big drug dealer, but in this 10 years on Sunday since I've been home, I don't let my past define who I am. So regardless if I got a felony, I don't call myself a restored citizen. My name is still Robinson. I'm of the kingdom, because I don't want to be labeled as my past. That's why I didn't do prison ministry no more. That's my past. May 2nd, that's a decade. It's over. So when I get married May 15th, I'm going to start remembering May as my anniversary with my future wife. That's over with, so and people can get inspired by my story, because regardless if they got a felony or not, I got a place in my name in a nice neighborhood because of what God allowed me to make. So what a barrier was previously, God opened a door. So connecting with individuals like Equin Green in New York, a Black Male Achievement 2-year fellowship to equip me with the knowledge and wisdom to fight this racism and fight this fight, so Black entrepreneurs can get funded to do the work that only we can do because of our past.
Yes,
and
sir.
Public Welfare Foundation giving us a grant to get a bigger facility and safer and central. Like, it don't matter what you've been through. You got to stand up to this racism. You got to stand up to the politics. You don't play politics, because we're talking about lives. We're talking about lives that can be changed because you're looking at one. And
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm just a living testimony, but individuals got to know that it's a lot of brothers and sisters that come home and do well. And I remember Maria Ford, when I lost my job at the Gap, and she was working at Cowick at the time. She said, I can help you get a job. And she heard my story. She said, I can help you get a job at Aaron Furniture, or I can connect you with this place and help you get on your journey. Because if you don't do God's will, he'll give it to somebody else, and it ain't been no looking back. So just having the right people in your path to recognize your gift and stand in alignment in God's will. And because if you don't got no anchor and something higher than you, you're not gonna win. And so you can't be copycatting off of people saying you want to do this, that, and the third, because that's the trend. Because one thing about it, if you called to do something, it's not a devil or a demon in hell that can stop God's purpose. And the system in Columbus, no. And Halt Violence is still standing, and so is Cashmere Publication. And God get the glory for the impact.
Go ahead, you teaching, brother. You teaching. I'm
gonna be obedient to the time, because I know it's 5 minutes. So that's it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, thank you, brother. Thank you. That's another phenomenal story, man. Phenomenal story. I would definitely like to link up with you, man, to have some further discussions. But I'm gonna turn it over to my co-host, Mr. Zach Rupel. He's going to share a video of our entrepreneurial pursuits.
Thanks, Majed. I am gonna ask my friend Sarah to share her screen. Her Wi-Fi is much better than mine, and she's gonna share the videos with us.
My name is Lawan Coleman. My business is I Resolve Fitness.
Hi, my name is Jaquita Seeley. I am founder and owner of J Hook.
My name is Brandon Elkins. The name of my business is Bethany Inc., but we're doing business as Relentless Recovery.
My name is Keith F. Mitchell. The name of my business is Mamie's Barber Beauty LLC.
Hi, my name is Timothy St. Valentine. The businesses that I'm a part of are the Carpet Prince, which provides excellent, skillful, and masterful carpet installation in residential and commercial properties. And our other business is D2 Homes, which also has a component of it where we provide low-cost transitional housing for those who are looking to get their lives back on track.
I got it working over at Children's Hospital. When you're working for corporate, it's kind of different, so you got to do things their way. And I had a lot of clients over there that were doctors and nurses who wanted me to work with their kids and wives and husbands. And I couldn't within the hospital, so I thought about I Resolve because I wanted to create something to help me help the other people outside of the corporate.
The idea started out with just crocheting in about 2018. When I came home from prison, I knew I needed to make money right away to be able to supply the things that I needed, like ID, social card, and food. So what I basically did was took what I knew, which I learned how to crochet. So I started to crochet until I got sustainable income.
I got the idea and the concept for this business by working for previous doctors. For the past 9 years, I had worked as a counselor for places, other Addiction Angels, Hope Medical, things of that nature. And I saw that I was doing well for them, and I figured I could do better for myself. So that's where the concept came from.
How I get the idea, the concept for this business was when I was working here under somebody else. I didn't want to be a barber. My brother over there, he's the barber, it's like that. My thing was just wanting to be a business person, it's like that. Then when I went to prison, when I got out, I got tired of working jobs. So they wouldn't let me in the business, so I said I'd create the business for myself. It just so happened that I went and got my barber's license because my wife was a nail tech. So I wanted to get a business with her. I worked at this shop for like about 8 years. Then all of a sudden I just said, I bought the building.
Well, the idea and the concept came from the way that I was raised. My father was a carpet installer, and he began taking me and my brothers to work during the summer, on the weekends, and during school holidays. And as far as D2 Homes is, the idea came forth from, I had been incarcerated for quite a while, and there weren't any really good places for me to come home to. I didn't want to go live with someone, but I wanted a space where I could, like, say, propel myself once I came home, and that's the idea for D2 Homes, the transition part of it.
So my name is Mujedit Muhammad. The name of my business is called the Restored Citizens Faith Foundation.
My name is Cornell Bay Willoughby. Willoughby Soul Beds is the name of my business.
My name is Preston Gale. The name of my business is Beyond Barriers.
My name is Angela Dixon, and my business is Goof Proof Cleaning Solutions.
My name is Stel Robinson III. My business is Cashmere Publications, and my nonprofit business is Halt Violence.
My name is April Harden, and I am the owner of Divine Sweets.
My name is Demetrius Straughter. I'm the founder and owner of Classy Woman Apparel.
You have to market and sell yourself in terms of the person that you are now and not the person who committed that offense.
Here's my advice. Just start and be sure to get out of your own way.
Anyone that's been just as evolved, I recommend that you do your proper research and go after your goals.
The advice I would give to anyone just as involved and wanting to start their own business would be to go for it and not to let anything hold you back, because when you go for your dreams, things always work out.
If you are just as involved and you want to start your own business, I strongly advise to do what you have been called to do.
Someone wanting to start their own business that's just as involved, just to never give up. You know, I never thought in a million years that I would be incarcerated, and obviously I was. And then I never thought that something good could come out of such a horrible situation. Like I didn't see that, but I always knew that I've had a passion and a drive and a desire, and I'm a very optimistic person. And I know that, you know, I've just had a bigger purpose in life. And I wasn't gonna let that situation stop me, but had I not gone through that, you know, who knows where, you know, I may have been. So I'm grateful for the situations that I had to go through to get to the other side, because I've met wonderful people, and, you know, God has just really been showing up and showing out. And so, like I said, never give up. You know, we all go through tough times in life, but, you know, that just makes us stronger. That just prepares us for what, you know, is to come. And so just be strong and believe in yourself and stay humble.
Advice that I would give to you all who are interested in being an entrepreneur or starting your own business is to never stop dreaming. Don't give up on your dream. But remember, a dream is just a dream until it's on paper. Also, don't rush the process, but trust the process. Believe in yourself, and it will come to pass.
Outstanding. Can everybody still hear me? Okay, outstanding. So good promos, and those are going to be available to us all week. And I believe we're going to get personal footage, you know, to promote our businesses. But I believe I have some questions in the chat now. Is that what we're doing now? Questions as a whole, Mr. Zach? Or do I want to pose some of the questions? Okay, so I think I'm going to go with some of the questions that I have. One of which is, what can the business community do to be more welcoming to entrepreneurs who are just as involved? I want to pose that question to our panel.
They need to stop allowing us to continue to relive our past. So if we have served our time, we shouldn't be put in the category and, you know, relive it again. So when a person is a drug addict or alcohol, they not putting themselves in the category. You know, so when it's on the application of an apartment or employment, it's not, they, you know, when you're in that felony box, you're so limited. And so something has to be done to stop that barrier. Now, I know in certain situations it may have to, because some people haven't been changed. So I'm not going to downplay that. But an individual that's really have changed, you know, speaking of an individual, I know a brother that's been home 15 years, got a trucking company and doing very well. But you got some people still want to label you because of what you've been locked up for, that they probably did worse things, but they just haven't been caught and they're not in the box, but we have to be labeled in the box publicly. So, you know, just treat us equally so that we can get a fair opportunity to prosper our business, you know. So.
Right. And you know, that's one of the things that I advocate as well, you know, is that once a person has demonstrated that they have transformed their lives, stop holding them hostage to their past. You know, that's what this society do. And when you couple that with, you know, you spoke of the racism that we experienced, because I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. And how
listen, the president of Echo and Green, she was our keynote speaker. Of the billions of dollars that was aided to this pandemic, only 5% of colored people that lead organizations got funding. We're talking like 13 billion and only 5%. So the data is out there.
Yes, sir.
You know, even when you have a nonprofit, you still get asked the questions and filling out certain grants. Do you have a felony? What they got to do with it? I know in certain situations it may apply, you know, because you know, fraud and all that, but like that's a barrier.
Yes, exactly. You
still living in a box.
Right. So, and that's one of the things that I talked about early on, is that why we need entrepreneurship, and that is to remove that stigma. You know, I think it's the works of individuals like ourselves who are being highlighted and in this series, and others who are unknown that have justice involved background, but are doing phenomenal things. We are the ones that are going to remove that stigma. Right. And I know that's one of the things that I'm definitely working towards. So going on to my next question is, what resources do you wish were available to you when you started your business that were not? Or what resources do you wish would have been available to you when you started your business that were not? And I'm posing that to somebody who hasn't spoken yet.
I'll answer that. Some of the things that I kind of wish that I guess I would have had available, that probably is available, that I didn't know, because I didn't know that I was even starting a business. But even having that one-on-one conversation of like what it takes to run your own business, like a mentorship type of program, something like that when I first got in, because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just buying, I was just crocheting, I was just like overbuying, and I would just be like, okay, well, I can't, you know, just something that helps you manage the business starting small, even though you're thinking big. So some type of programming that I possibly could have got into that started me from the very beginning of, okay, so you're starting a business. These are the steps and fundamentals that you probably need to work with in structuring your business. Whereas I was learning from trial and error. So I think that would have been something that I would have liked to have. And then moving forward is with doing this reentry and stuff and listening to the things all this week, is the programs that's actually in place that now I know that I could be a part of, to try to find funding without going to a bank to get a loan, or even the SBA and stuff like that. Just because if it's out there, I should first exhaust everything that's free. And my big thing was, oh, I want to do this. I have this idea here. and I'm ready to pay out of pocket, but I know if I pay out of pocket, it takes from, me growing my business and maybe potentially hurting myself, where I can actually set up in steps of how to manage money and, get grants that's out there for free instead of having to come out of pocket so much.
So let me ask you this. Do you have a business mentor?
No, I actually do not have a business mentor whatsoever. This is something that, that just came literally left field. I never wanted to own my own business. I never had the drive to run business. I've had the drive to run other people's business. I've been in property management for 5, 6 years, 7 years or so, running other people's business, but I just never had a desire to. And it's easy to come in and work with a business that's already set up and have the foundation, but to start from scratch and me not knowing or underestimating myself when I first started, and not knowing the things that goes along with starting getting your LLC,
Right.
trademarking and all that. That was very overwhelming for me trying to do so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I'm gonna move on to Mr. Joy Green, and my question for you is, what does the phrase "get out of your own way" mean to you? If that's too heavy for you, I'll move on. Somebody else. Now, but I can't hear you. It don't look like you back on mute. I still can't hear you. Maybe you got one of them vehicles. It's because you driving.
Okay. Okay. How about now?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So for me, I wasn't at all in my own way. I've had, some of my close friends tell me I need to slow down. And I was like, well, I'm comfortable, where I'm at and what I'm doing. And I was growing my business slowly I didn't want to outgrow myself. So when I first started out and it was just me, I wasn't, concentrating on, say, my wife asked, say, hey, there's a lot. I know a lady in Hilliard who would like her grass cut. And I said, well, I'm not driving all the way to Hilliard for one lawn, even though the business can grow in Hilliard. So I tried to stay close and grow it slowly and gradually. And, as Jaquita mentioned, I invested my own money in myself, so I would save my money, buy pieces of equipment, bigger equipment, and just, kept it like that. But getting in my own way, I didn't experience that.
Okay.
So that's why it's not a tough question. I don't have that life experience that I was in my, maybe back before my incarceration, where once I got incarcerated, I realized how smart I was and how much passion and how much I cared about people and cared about things that I didn't have the normal criminal mind set. But getting in my own way, I didn't experience that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, sir. Miss April, why is entrepreneurship important to the reentry community?
For using GTL.
I think that entrepreneurship is important to the reentry community because it allows us to, be able to provide for our family, but then also to create jobs for other people in the community that may have a felony. It's hard to, a lot of times when you come home from prison, like Theo mentioned, people are still holding you've done your time to society, but then people are still holding what you've done against you, holding, you would think that, okay, well, you've done your time, you paid your time to society, and you're still, it still follows you. It still tries to hold you back. And so I know a lot of people that may have spoken today, and also other people that are entrepreneurs that I've talked to, they wanted to create jobs for, if they have their own, business, they want to create jobs for those who are, who do have a felony. And so I think that it's important that entrepreneurship is important for the reentry community, because we're creating jobs for those people that have difficulty obtaining jobs somewhere else. And so it helps it, when I was incarcerated in Marysville, I always remember this saying that they had painted in different areas of the prison. And I think it was like their mission goal to reduce recidivism. And when you're creating jobs for, that's one of the reasons that a lot of people go back, because they can't find decent employment. And then the employment that they do have, it doesn't pay your bills. You can't, provide for your family. And so with us, becoming entrepreneurs, I would hope that we're not going to hire somebody that has a felony and then pay them minimum wage, knowing that they can't afford it, because we know the same struggle, so it's important to the community providing jobs so that those other people can provide for their family, but then also maybe they can start up their own business, and it's just a ripple effect, and it just keeps on going. So that's why I feel that it's important. So.
Absolutely. And that's one of you use that language, right? That's one of the statements at my job, it's about creating that ripple effect. That's within our mission statement, creating the ripple effect, because it's like you throw a rock in the water, right? And it creates that wave that begins to spread, right? And that's what I see all of us doing, is creating that ripple effect. There was a book that I came across during my incarceration called Convict Criminology. And the nature of this book is that it was a compilation of writers who all had justice involved backgrounds. They were in the system back in the 70s and the 80s, when you could still get college degrees. And, they worked to get their degrees. Many of them are now professors in universities throughout the United States. And they teach criminology. But the unique part about these individuals is that they teach criminology from a restored citizen's perspective, meaning that a sense of empathy has been cultivated and nurtured in their hearts and their minds and the way they see things. And that's the same thing that I hear and see with your responses. Having had that experience, you see things differently, right? And that's another thing that I think that makes us so successful, right? The returning citizens from incarceration that I know who have truly transformed their lives are doing big things. I'm getting ready to go down, and I hope to bring back some video footage to North Carolina this week to visit with a friend of mine who was incarcerated for 10 years on a bank robbery. He's been out now for 20 years. He started a school down there. He has a food truck. I mean, this brother is just doing phenomenal things. He has a huge social media presence, and I'm kind of going down there to learn from this brother. I mean, because he and I were very good friends, and another friend in Florida who's doing great things. But these are individuals who have truly transformed their lives, and they're doing great things now despite having been incarcerated. So that's something that society does, to keep us in our place, but we're definitely moving out of that place, right? And I love the demonstration that you all are putting on, the example that you all are putting on. And I wish you all great success in your future endeavors and your businesses.
Thank you. Do they need me to bring some sweets down there?
Hey, I told you, I'm definitely gonna get some contact information, a business card or something, because I want to sample your sweets. I definitely want to sample. And you know, Thea, I don't know if you seen, she put it in the chat that she can make that wedding cake for you as well. So that's already set.
My fiance already got it taken care of. You know, we only got a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, under 3 weeks, so you know what I mean? But maybe I can pass the information along though.
Yes, sir, indeed, brother.
And
Indeed.
just FYI, Jaquita, I met her today, and she is going to do my new T-shirts.
Okay, that's beautiful.
Well, yeah.
That's beautiful. And that's what we got to do. Each one got to support one.
Now I can support the T-shirt soon, so I can do that. So yeah.
All right, I got you. I'll put my information in the chat box.
Yeah, I can definitely do that.
So
Indeed.
before we all leave, Zach just wanted me to share the flyer that lists the entrepreneur directory of all the returning citizen entrepreneurs who are being spotlighted this week for Reentry Week. It is also, I included the link in the chat if you'd like to take a closer look at it. A lot of people have like promos that they're offering for your support if you support this week.
Thank you.
Okay. So once again, I thank everybody for coming out, sharing your story. Like I said, the videos will be available to you throughout Reentry Week. And then I think everyone is going to get a file, a personalized file for themselves to use in promoting their business. So I will see you all tomorrow. I'm on another panel tomorrow. I hope you will come out and join us on that panel as well. And have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a